Hi everyone, this is Rich of the Rich Maxwell channel. This channel is about drones and photography, so please subscribe if you're into those two things. This video just going to talk through a few things that you can do at home with your camera if you're into photography, as obviously the world's changed quite dramatically in recent times and a lot of us are kind of stuck at home, either working from home or countries are in lockdown and making people stay at home. So it's a pretty traumatic time, pretty scary. I hope everyone's coping okay. Obviously stop the panic buying, everyone. There's no need to just buy up every toilet roll that you see in the supermarket. There's still stock coming into the supermarket, so there's just no need for it. It's all obviously looking really chaotic out there at the moment, so we'll just need to obviously stop this panic buying and look after each other a bit, so we can all get through it. But yeah, this video is just talking about photography really, because obviously us photographers, we do like to go outside, have fun with our cameras, shoot nice landscapes, shoot nice portraits on locations, but obviously at the moment there's not really the option to do that. So just going to talk through some ideas of things that you can shoot at home. So on to the video then. Okay, so first up then, one of the things that I absolutely love to take photos of when I'm at home, when I'm sort of stuck in the house due to bad weather and can't get out with my camera or fly my drone or anything, is my fish tank. So in this fish tank I've got some beautiful Malawi cichlids, really colourful, beautiful fish. And so it's great to try and capture them as best as I can. They're a challenging subject to photo as they're always moving around really quickly, so it can be difficult to get the autofocus to lock onto them at the right moment. But when you get a nice image of them, it's well worth it, and it's always a good test when I get a new lens or a new camera to see how fast it autofocuses and how well it performs at higher ISOs. I have to up my ISO a bit when I'm photographing my fish. So if you've got a fish tank, that's a great option for you to take some photos of your fish, or if you've got any other pets. For example, if you've got a hamster, like my son has, or you've got a dog or cat, then get some nice animal portraits. Nice, just photos of your pets, and these pictures you could put up to stock photography websites. You might make a few dollars off them, and worst case, you get some nice snaps for your Instagram that you can share with all your friends and your online community. And so yeah, recommend looking around what pets you've got, what animals you can take photos of. Maybe you've got a garden, you can get out there, take some photos of wildlife, for example, squirrels, birds, foxes, whatever comes into your garden. So that's option one. Okay, so next up, what you can take photographs of at home when you're stuck in is little things. So talking about macro photography. So macro photography is essentially zooming in really close on small objects usually. So it could be a watch, could be a coin, could be sunglasses as I've got here, could be a little statue with a pyramid, and then zoom in really close, capture the beauty of these small objects, every little crack, crevice, and all the texture of it, and you can create some really cool and really creative shots. You're only limited really by your imagination. There's so many things that you can take photos of in macro, and they'll look really cool. So this is something you can do at home and have some real fun with and get some cool images for like your stock photography or website or your Instagram. So have a think about doing macro photography. So to do macro photography, you may be thinking, well, I can't do that. I need a really expensive lens that does really close focusing, macro focusing. But what you can do is just use a normal prime lens. So this is an 85mm f1.8 Viltrox lens for the Sony E-mount system. And what I've got here is a couple of macro extension tubes. So these macro extension tubes, they essentially move the lens slightly further away from the camera so that then you can focus much closer up than you normally could. So I've got two on this in this little kit that I purchased, and these macro extension tubes, they have actually the contacts for the autofocusing, as you see there. So I've got one on there. Sometimes you only need to put one on, depends how big the object is, how close you focus in. But I've just got, well, I had the two on then, but I'm going to give just the one a go now and see whether I can capture sunglasses and my pyramid really nicely. It's helpful to have a bit of a key light on your macro subjects, just to make everything pop really, everything stand out really good. that, yeah, it opens up so many possibilities if you can get into macro photography. There's just so many little things out there you can take photos of. It could be insects, could be, like I said, little statues, sunglasses, watches, coins. There's loads of cool things that you can photo, and I've seen some awesome macro photography shots on Instagram. So it's really good creative photography, something really cool that you can do while you're stuck at home from the comfort of your house. Just get yourself these macro tubes, makes it much easier, or if not, look at your lens collection, see which one has the closest focusing distance. My Tamron F 2.8 2875, that has a pretty close focusing distance. I think it focuses from about 10 centimeters away, so this can certainly be used for some macro photography. And you often get these cheaper sort of like Tamron 70-30 telephoto lenses which have a switch on to put them into macro photography mode for the Nikon and Canon cameras, so they could be a great option as well. So have a think about things that you can get photos of that are small, or that you can zoom in on and make look really big on the screen, and get some creative images that way. Okay, so next up, what you can take pictures of at home when you're stuck on your own is, of course, yourself. So self-portraiture. It's not a totally vain thing. This is something that artists throughout history have done. Their self-portraits, people like sort of Picasso, famous artists, painters around the world have produced some of their greatest art, and they've been self-portraits. So self-portraiture, when you're using these modern cameras, is much easier than it used to be, as you've got things like you can use the remote or the system through the Sony cameras, where you connect up your phone to your camera and you can see what your camera sees. So you can change all the settings, your aperture, your exposure settings, everything from your phone, and then snap your image of yourself and make yourself look good. So self-portraits, that's another option. And to do self-portraits, you don't need loads of equipment, you don't need strobe lighting. I have got strobe lighting myself, which is pretty cool and does help in some ways, but you can, for your lighting, you could use a window, pull down like a white blind in front of that window to really soften the daylight, or at golden hour, or when it's a really overcast day, you're going to get some nice soft light coming through the windows anyway, so you can take advantage of that and then put together some really cool self-portrait shots, or even portraits of your family. So you can practice your portrait photography and get really good at portrait photography. So that's another option when you're stuck in the house. Okay, my fourth final thing to take photos of when you're stuck at home in the house is you can do time lapses. So time lapses are really cool. You can just do it from any window. Just ideally open the window, set your camera on a tripod, and then with Sony cameras, you've got an app in the camera itself, which enables you to set up all the time-lapse features, and then it will take for you several hundred photos, perhaps over the course of like an hour or half an hour, and then from Lightroom, put them in a sequence, put them into a cool time-lapse. You can get things like the sun rising, just the clouds, like the moon moving around and cloud moving across the moon. So there's loads of creative things that you can do in terms of time lapses. So that's something to have a think about, something to have a play around with, and you can create some awesome little video clips for your YouTube videos, or to share on Instagram or Facebook. So I highly recommend practicing time lapses and getting to grips with them. If you're not a Sony camera shooter, then Canon and Nikon, you can buy these remotes for that, then you can sort of set up so it takes a photo every few seconds, and you can create your time lapse that way. If you've got a DJI Osmo Pocket, which I've talked about a few times on this channel, so you might have subscribed from one of my Osmo Pocket videos. On the Osmo Pocket, there's a lot of settings that you can use to do time lapses, and what's really cool with the Osmo Pocket is you can set it to actually pan slightly as well while it's doing the time lapse, or move up or down, so you can do tilt or pan or both, and you can set it on a really cool course so you can get a really awesome result with your time lapse from the Osmo Pocket. So that's 4 things that you can do with your camera when you're stuck at home. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing, more videos coming soon, and as always, stay safe everyone, and just get through this difficult time. Keep doing photography and keep practicing things, and I'm sure we'll all get through it and the world will be back to normal before we know it. Okay, bye for now everyone, have a great day. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and watch out for more videos.